Good evening, everyone. I want to talk to you about something very important today, and that is the top 10 reasons why cops are awesome. Since cops are trained with self-defense and combat skills, you know you can never go wrong whenever a cop is around. So the next time someone is trying to mug you, abduct you, or just behaving in a way you do not approve of, and telling them to stop or get away from me is not working, all you have to do is go up to some random cop and tell them to tase that dude to the floor, tase that dude some more, tase that dude till we get sore. Oh, most people don't know this, but cops have their own security system. It's true. You know how every time someone bumps into your car, you hear, or whenever someone tries to B&E into your property, you hear. Well, every time you bump into a cop car, you'll hear. And every time you try to B&E into a cop's property, you'll hear. So remember, the next time you hear, it may not be what you think. Summer just wouldn't be possible without the most awesome snack in the world, which is something that cops invented. Surely you must know what I am talking about. These popsicles! This design was invented by a female cop, marketed towards female fans. Because it lasts longer and females tend to be bothered by heat more than males on average. This design was invented by a male cop, targeted towards a unisex audience. All he said was that it was very important for him to stack these colors vertically in this particular order to symbolize patriotism. So, in other words, he is extremely proud of his job and wanted to share that with all of us loyal fans. They both won an award for introducing the most high in demand flavors on the line among all popsicle brands. I can't decide which one I like more. I would have to say, I think they're both juicy and flavorful. Guys, you have not had the full experience until you've been death glared at by a cop. I've personally been death glared at by 5 white male cops. I don't know if there might be something wrong with me. Most people find a cop's death glare to be extremely intimidating and uncomfortable to deal with, whereas I find it captivating. I guess that's how I find myself in situations like this, where I've been death glared at by 5 white male cops. That was all just within the same summer. And it wasn't just your run of the mill, oh no you didn't kind of death glare. It was more along the lines of, if it weren't for the fact that you're a woman, I'd slap you all the way back to last Tuesday. So by that point, it doesn't even matter how many staring contests you've been in. When you're up against a cop in that death glare, cops always win. Really, those techniques can be found in the guide for how to win a staring contest like a boss. I mean, who do you think wrote that book? Of course you know about that sweet ride called a police car, also known as a cop car, cruiser, squad car, police interceptor, and the pimp master. I mean, who needs a Lamborghini when you can just ride a cop car? Really, you can totally pick up chicks with a cop car, and dudes as well, depending on the call. Chicks if it's a victim, and dudes if it's a criminal offender. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that mean. Of course, I know both of those roles are interchangeable with both genders. Victims be like, is my boss gonna find out about this? I don't know if I can do court tomorrow. Criminal offenders be like, and I'd be like, yippee! A car ride! Really though, most of the individuals I used to associate with actually didn't know how to drive or own a vehicle, so I'd be very grateful if I could ride a cop car. It's a common misconception that cops like to jack up random people for no reason, but that is simply not true. Well, with the exception of traffic stops, fugitive, escaped convict, and criminal offender apprehension, cops usually never troll on you unless you troll on them first. It's the subject that starts drama with the cop. Really. It goes a little something like, you're a tool, and you're a target. Seriously though? Don't troll on cops. Nothing good can come out of that because cops always win. Most people probably don't know this, but cops actually like to be the center of attention. It's true. They have rigged Google to bring up cop related answers to random topics. Here, let me show you what I mean. I'm gonna search up something I don't have currently bookmarked, like Urban Dictionary, for example. Look at these results. Chevrolet Suburban. Chevrolet Suburban police car. Police Chevrolet Suburban. I don't quite understand that. I'm searching Urban Dictionary and they bring up results like these. how far off are they? Really? You notice how urban is the last half of the second word? Everyone knows that cops and the military operate in a similar manner. But what you didn't know is that they can actually switch places once in a while. It's true. You thought it was bad enough being chased around by some dude in a cruiser with a taser? Well, what are you gonna do when you're facing up against an army tank and looking down the barrel of a bazooka? Yeah, I'd run. Have you ever wondered why cops are the best barbecue guests? It's because they always bring their own sausages. Okay, I admit, I totally just went out to lunch on that. I'm sure you know that cops' kids never do messed up things. And that's because cops still secretly enforce corporal punishment. It's true. A typical conversation between a kid and their cop parent usually goes like, "So it's not okay for me to." You do that, and I'll smack you so hard you'll end up in juvie hall so fast they'll make your head spin.